じっちゃん、シグマさんが戻ってきたよ。
どうにか間に合ったようじゃな。
I was looking for you guys. Where are the others?
AB ルームの中だよ。
Oh, they actually went in the AP room early? They went already? Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
じっちゃんが投票の前にどうしても話しておきたいことがあるからって。
Oh?
まあ大したことではないんじゃがな。わしとクオークは次のラウンドで必ず協力を選ぶ。
I don't trust you.
ただそのことを伝えておきたかったんじゃ。
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
確かにそうじゃが、わしらには根拠がある。必ず協力を選ぶという根拠
You
がな。
gonna give me something in return? Okay, go ahead.
わしとクオークの BP は共に8。
Yeah.
正直に言うが、すでにリーチがかかっておる状態なんじゃ。
You literally have no reason to betray. Which I guarantee you guys will betray. Because fucking reasons.
この状態でわしらが BP を9以上にするにはどうすればよいか。まず前提条件として、この条件の下ではわしらが協力を選ぼうと裏切りを選ぼうといずれにせよ同じなんじゃよ。
You'd get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3
そうじゃ。
points.
であるならば、あえてシグマを裏切るまでもない。
Yeah, I don't trust you.
共に協力を出し合ってポイン
Last
トを
time I
増
was
や
at
した方
3, you
が
betrayed
賢明じゃ
me.
ろ。
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect
だから
yourself.
じっちゃんはそれはしないって宣言してるんだよ。
Actually, even if you guys did get betrayed, literally the next round, you can betray and get to 9. There's no real worry. Can I trust you?
もちろんじゃ。
There really is no reason you guys would pick betray. I would still because I'm an asshole. So Tenmyoji's an asshole because he'll do it because I'd do it. Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this and both outlie. Everyone gets 2 points. You guys are walking out the door. That means you and Cork will have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and just leave us in the lurch?
保証はある。
How?
わしの言葉がそれじゃ。わしらは目標値に達しても決して9の扉
You'll
は
make
開
Cork
かない。
open it?
そう誓おう。他の者たちを置き去りにして2人だけで脱出するわけにはいかんからな。
僕も誓う。約束する。
Man. So all you've got is a promise, huh? You'll just make someone else open the door for you and you'll just leave because, oh, well, the door's open, might as well leave. Get fucked.
わしは約束は必ず守る。信じてくれ。
お願い。信じて、シグマさん。
I don't trust you at all. You kind of burned that bridge in the first game. You can go to hell, old man. Alright, fine. I'll trust you. I'm not. I hold grudges. You burned my bridge? That fucker is burnt. You can try rebuilding it. I will light it back on fire.
では頼んだぞ、シグマ。
Oh
絶
yeah,
対に
you'll count
協
on
力
me.
だよ。約束だからね。
Yeah, go to hell. With that, they turned and ran into the AB selection. A second from the right. AB selection. What? Go to hell. Well, I guess I should get moving. I'm going to get tricked into staying here. Oh man, you're gonna rot in here with me. Same with Dio. I don't forget my grudges. Oh, it's the first time I've been a solo. Just me and my thoughts. I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Tenmyoji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6, and be that much closer to 9. I'd be in striking distance, and choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but...
お願い。
I don't trust Quark, he's diseased.
信じて、シグマさん。
Tenmyoji wants to get him out because he's sick. So he's gonna do anything to get him out. Betray.
絶対に協力だよ。
Even though he doesn't have to, he still will.
約束だからね。
Tenmyoji, I could betray you easily enough, but Quark? The hell was I going to do? Yeah, I'm a heartless bastard, so he's not nearly cute enough for me to be sympathetic enough to not vote guilty or betray. Sorry. I don't trust you. I don't want you leaving. You can stay here with me. Because other people are leaving. And I'm not having you leave. I'd rather Clover leave on her own. Because I guarantee she'll get 9. And I believe Kay could get 9 as well. They will probably leave. I don't want Tenmyoji to leave. He can stay here with me. Hopefully Dio doesn't get 9. I don't remember the exact totals everyone had.
第3ラウンドの結果を発表します。一同、画面にご注目ください。
Oh, go fuck yourself, Dio. Clover's out? That's why I fucking thought, fuck you, Tenmyoji. You can run hell with me. Clover, get the hell out of here. Hey, what's the deal? You guys didn't have to go to hell, Tenmyoji. You can run here with me. Welcome to my hell. Yeah, I know he didn't. You did. So why'd you choose betray? No, because I didn't want you leaving. That's why I picked betray. Bye, Clover. That's fine. You can leave. You're staying here. What? Oh no. Got that Clover face.
Q の扉があの女開きやがった。
どうして？待ってよ、四つ葉さん。
Clover? What the hell do you think you're doing?
仲間を呼んでくるの。
You're a good girl, Clover. Why couldn't I leave with her? What? Oh yeah, she did. Oh, actually now I feel really bad. I wish I could leave with you so you're not all alone out there. Justice, wait, do you mean? Calling the CIA, blowing this place up.
Q の扉が開放されました。Q の扉閉鎖まで残り9秒です。
それじゃ私行くから。四つ葉さん、待ってください。四つ葉さん。
てめえさせるか。
Dio leapt at Clover, his fist raised. Touch her and you die, Dio. Clover easily avoided him and moved toward the door. Oh, I feel really bad for her. I caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. She must be so alone and afraid. That's terrible. I feel really bad for her. I'd rather her leave than Tenmyoji leaving. Because Tenmyoji just pisses me off.
9、これ にお疲れ様。なお、どうぞ残りの
I will enjoy my stay. Hey, Tenmyoji, how's it stay? You're gonna die before me. Welcome to hell. Let's go ahead. Tenmyoji game over.
No 締め切りまで残り1分。
Let's go ahead and ally then.
アンビデックスゲ一同。
Let's see how Tenmyoji's still gonna vote betray, because why not? Fucking pisses me off. Dio's still doing betray though. He's still a piece of shit. Thanks, Tenmyoji. I'm glad that doesn't change. Burn in hell.
結果は以上のように確定しました。各自バングルの数字をご確認ください。
Hey, what the hell? Why'd you betray me?
クォークのことは関係ない。
Yeah, I know that.
投票はわしの独断で行ったんじゃ。
じっちゃん。
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Tenmyoji?
わしが誓ったのは次のことだけじゃ。
That you'd vote ally.
わしらは目標値に達しても決して
What?
9の扉。
What?
いや、
You're
そ
not
うでは
gonna
ない。
leave? Wait, wait, wait. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Does this go all the way back? Or it only... Fuck me. You said you were gonna pick ally, you piece of shit. Oh, I hate you.
脱出はもちろんさせてもらう。
Yeah, we just won't open the door. What?
見ろ、あれ、四つ葉が9の扉の前に立っておるじゃろ。
What a scumbag. Don't tell me. Bye, Clover. Clover, I hope you lock him out specifically. Can I hold Tenmyoji here so he doesn't leave? You can take Quark, I don't care.
そんな
9の扉が。
あの
So
バカ女
frustrating. Screw you,
開き
Dio.
やがったな。
だが結果発表によると、
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark
おい
ran past.
待てよこの
Dio, stop Tenmyoji.
よ、
Got that
翼
face.
まさか脱出するつもりなんですか？そうじゃなかったら9の扉、
どうして
外に出てゼロボスを捕まえるためにね。ヘミオチとクオークも。
ああ、すまんな。
ごめんね、みんな。
No, you're not.
どうじゃシグマ、納得したか？
Rot in hell.
わしは約束を破ってはお
I
ら
hope
ん。
you have a heart attack the second you cross that threshold.
9の扉を開いたのはわしらではなく四つ葉じゃからな。
Spit on your grave. Like hell, I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji. Whenever I go against you, it's just an automatic betrayal. I don't care.
まあ、どうとでも言うがいい。
No excuse. You literally had no reason to betray. Even if you lost 2, it would put you at 6. You can betray next round and get 9. Ugh.
わしはどうしても外に出なければならんのじゃ。一刻も早くここを出て奴に制裁を下さねばならん。
You could have allied and gotten out. I wouldn't be upset if you allied and gotten out.
やつというのは
無論ゼロボスのことじゃよ。
ゼロボスがどこにいるのか。
ああ、ここまで来たのじゃからもう行っても構わんじゃろ。わしはゼロボスのことをよく知っておるんじゃ。
なんだと。
9の扉が9のと
さあ行くよ天明寺さんクオーク。ちょっと待ってシグマさんこれ
No, who's Zero? What? You just said you know who Zero as Senior is. What do you mean you're... Let's just go. Cork held something out. What the hell? Looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. This looks like... No, it is 2 pieces. Just really thick 2 pieces of paper. What is
手
this?
紙
Fuck your letter.
AB ゲームの前に所長室で書いたんだ。
I wonder it took 20
こ
minutes.
れを読んでもらえればじっちゃんと僕のこと分かってもらえると思う。
A scumbag, that's what he is.
だからはい。
Fucking betray me getting out of here. He pressed in my head. He betrayed me
それじゃ
twice.
あねシグマさん。
Then he turned and ran toward the door. Tenmyoji and Clover following in his footsteps. I know exactly what kind of person Tenmyoji is. I was so surprised by the letter I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say.
ではな。
じゃあね。
Who's Zero? You piece of shit. Oh, I know who Zero is. No point in keeping a secret. Proceeds to not tell anyone who Zero Senior is. Ugh. At least we know it's a male, at least.
9の扉を
It's
閉
still probably
鎖
Dio.
しました。
So frustrating.
これにてお使いなおどうぞ残り
Unless this letter is detailed explanation of how to get the hell out of here. I don't care.
くそ行っちまったな。
あとはあの3人が助けを呼んで
We're
くれる
not getting any damn help.
そうですね。
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he's filled both pages with writing. I began to read. Oh boy. Time to... It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? A little. But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his trunk and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back. Well, I didn't even get scratched. That's not good. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Kid, I'm more lucky than you. Anyway, I don't really have any more accidents after that. And I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I had started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was gathering junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, and how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show news or movies. News? Ooh. Exciting. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while. And he'd only go weeks when they'd show movies. You know, it's like he wouldn't want to see a news broadcast. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found out, he looked all over town to try and find someone who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? Oh, this is because a lot of people probably died to Radical 6, right? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd bragged to everyone about how he had a mom. He liked to come home up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." Fuck you, prick. It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. I mean, he wouldn't take care of you for so long if he didn't want you. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. Thanks, thanks, Grandpa. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When he got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and sat me down on a stool next to the counter. "Son, you're gonna be drinking scotch today. I've had a rough time." The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. I mean, it is a bar stool. Eventually, the bartender came over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was, a root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. Why? To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. Why the fuck is root beer the commodity here? Well, I guess because people have more desire to make alcohol rather than... Like, even if you're in a dystopia, people will still make alcohol, but you won't have the good alcohol. Distilleries will still shut down. No, I guess it would be harder to make root beer? But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. "Is this really mine?" He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa when I looked over at him. He was smiling. When I looked I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float that made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but it had never tasted root beer. Yeah, totally. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I had found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care." Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. He wouldn't have spent a lot of money on you then. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building. But by then, I had started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. Really? But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. Waiting's gonna make it worse, kid. Imagine Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but when I went over there anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked and I couldn't tell right away that he'd been there for a long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. This music is a little emotional here. Calm down. Calm down, music. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. It was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever god might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa. I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a really bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? That's not really... Okay. My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He shouldn't be apologizing. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All of the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide, and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever, even if he said I couldn't. Thank you for cutting more emotional music. Oh, now it just ends. Who's Zero? You can't just say, "Oh, I know who Zero is." Not tell me. That was a good story, little letter though. I mean, I do like that Quark loves Tenmyoji and vice versa. It doesn't change the fact that he's still a piece of shit to me. Him betraying me and stuff like that, I mean, I still can't get over that. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's all good, old man. We're good." Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let that just pass and be like, "No, that's fine, bud. You can throw me under the bus all day long. You can betray me twice. I'm A-okay, bud." Because he didn't have to. He could have just allied and gotten out. I don't understand why he felt the need to do that. I still want to know who that Zero Senior is. Like, unless he met him, but he probably didn't. Like, could the hologram have told him who Zero Senior is? Maybe he's seen that person before, and that's how he knows it's Zero Senior. The only person he's probably seen before that would be a possibility would be like K. Unless, of course, we want to pull like a really far to left curveball and be like, oh, actually, it's Sigma who's Zero. Really doubt it, because I don't know how it would work. Like, what, did he wipe his memory or something? I don't know. I don't think that would really work out. I would say it's probably most likely K who's Zero. I mean, again, it's like a really obvious red herring. But if that really is Zero Senior, the dude we saw, it would have to be K. Because it's definitely not Dio. Tenmyoji end. Who knows? We'll have to find out. We'll need more information. Maybe if Tenmyoji just opened his mouth and said, hey, you're Zero. That would have been a little helpful. Sadly, we don't get those options. So, what are the next areas we can go to? So we have to go all the way back because we've basically cleared this line, at least for now, until we get this lock. Bounce over here. Yeah, lock number 3, 5 minutes of life. We have to find a way to cancel out that poison, which is going to be interesting to say the least. But it just depends which one we want to go into. It'll be the chromatic doors. Who are the options again? Okay, so Luna or Alice? Fucking coin flip. I guess Alice. Because at least... Wait, what were the... Fuck. With Alice, she does know about the situation with Clover and the previous Zeros. So it's possible we can probably wiggle out some information out of her. I think that will probably be the best course of action. Luna, she doesn't really strike me as anyone important, so she'll probably be working for the enemy because she doesn't strike me as anyone important. So we'll go with Alice. I'm thinking I'd like to go with Alice and take the cyan door. Is that okay with you guys?
Ah, 了解よ。
ってことは、俺とクオー
Well,
ク
you're
のペア
gonna
はルナ
betray
と
her.
組むことになるな。
Oh, damn, Cork. Why'd you betray her?
僕は異議なしだよ。ルナさんなら安心だし。私も問題ありません。黄色の扉に入ればいいんですね。
I'd rather save me betraying her for later.
すると、私と四葉さんが天明寺さんと
Tenmyoji, you betray Clover, your head's on a spike.
アリスと一緒じゃないんだ。
わしでは不満か
Oh,
ね
cutie.
不満というよりは
なぜじゃ
決まってるでしょ。あなたが老いぼれだからだよ。
Ouch.
バカモン、こう見えてもわしはじゃな。
カラードドア
Wonder why you'd say you're surprised when you were 20.
です
Or at least around that age, because that was the last time you saw Clover, right?
9
Interesting.
7
But yeah, time's definitely advanced outside of him. Like, he was definitely outside the world. Same with Akane. So that means people who are, like, they were definitely abducted on Christmas or around that time and put into cryogenic stasis. Sigma would probably be the third. So that means everyone else is around in the future, but we view it as present day. I'll have to come back on this theory. We need to go.
四つ葉、後でたっぷりと聞かせてやるからな。
はいはい。
God, I love Clover. Ah,
1
why can't I go with her more?
カラードドア
She's amazing. Can't wait to betray Alice coming up. Because I'm always going to betray. Because it's the smart move. May not be the nice move, but it's still the smart move. Because it gets me 6 points, and I get to leave next. It's just a hallway.
扉にはキャビンエリアと書いてあった。
I actually haven't been in here. Like, well, I haven't been in the other two. So it's been a really long time since I actually went near these rooms, at least.